Hello everyone, welcome back to Unveiling Mythical Legends. Today we're going to introduce you to a deity who could be considered all-knowing in Greek mythology, Hermes. Not only is he the messenger of the gods, but his wit, cunning, and creativity have earned him a crucial position in the divine realm. From his adventurous stealing of cattle to guiding the souls of the dead, Hermes' story is filled with humor and excitement, offering us countless inspirations and laughs. Want to know more about the wonderful stories of Hermes? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so we can dive deep into exploring this versatile deity in mythology. Hermes, the multifaceted god in Greek mythology, is undoubtedly a fascinating character. Not only is he the messenger of the gods, responsible for delivering divine commands and messages, but he is also renowned in the divine realm for his wit, cunning, and eloquence. His image frequently appears in various thrilling adventures, whether in solving crises or cleverly escaping tricky situations. Hermes always manages to conquer difficulties in his unique way, accomplishing seemingly impossible tasks. As the god of commerce and trade, Hermes represents prosperity and development. He is also considered the protector of travelers and merchants. Whenever traders travel from place to place, or when travelers embark on long journeys, Hermes is seen as their guardian, granting them smooth paths and protection. Even more magical, Hermes also possesses the ability to guide the souls of the dead. As the messenger of the underworld, his winged sandals and winged helmet allow him to effortlessly move between life and death, leading the souls to rest. This role makes Hermes a deity who transcends the boundaries of life and death, roaming across various realms. His cunning and agility, not only showcased in the clever schemes within his mythological stories, became traits often imitated in later cultures. Hermes, the son of Zeus and Maia, was born in the cave of Cyllene in Arcadia, destined from the beginning to be closely linked with adventure and deception. While he was naturally endowed with the aura of a god, Hermes' character was starkly different from the noble and majestic demeanor of other deities. Compared to the dignified, radiant gods, Hermes embodied traits of cunning and wit, revealing extraordinary intelligence and limitless potential from the moment of his birth. His life journey was undoubtedly tumultuous, never confined to the traditional image of a noble deity, but instead filled with a mischievous and humorous nature, always entwined with schemes, tricks, and adventure. Hermes, the multifaceted god of mythology, was destined from birth to tread an unconventional path. Even as an infant, he displayed extraordinary cunning and creativity, becoming one of the most unique and independent deities among all the gods. According to legend, shortly after his birth, he embarked on his first adventure. His first feat was sneaking out of his mother's cave and beginning his unconventional divine career. This baby god's adventure started dramatically. Hermes stole his brother Apollo's cattle and launched a scheme that left all the gods in awe. Hermes did not rely solely on strength to achieve his goals. Instead, he used his exceptional intellect and clever strategies to accomplish his objectives. With his brilliant mind, he hid the cattle so well that they left no trace, even successfully evading the pursuit of his father, Zeus, and the other gods. In this act of theft, Hermes not only executed his trick flawlessly, but also cleverly transformed the shell of a dead tortoise into the world's first seven-stringed lyre, upon which he began to play enchanting melodies. This instrument symbolized not only Hermes' musical talent, but also his boundless creativity and ingenious nature. He even played the lyre during the cattle theft, showcasing a remarkable blend of artistry and cunning, turning the act of stealing into something both clever and artistically inspired. Hermes' story goes far beyond mere cunning and theft. After successfully stealing his brother Apollo's cattle, the tale enters a whole new phase: how to skillfully resolve the conflict with Apollo. When Apollo discovered that his cattle had been stolen, He was furious and immediately demanded that Hermes return them. Faced with Apollo's accusations, Hermes did not panic or try to flee. Instead, he used his extraordinary eloquence and cleverness to skillfully defuse the crisis. Hermes skillfully used his eloquence and strategy, not only defending the reasoning behind his actions, but persuading Apollo in a way that left little room for rebuttal. Throughout this process, he showcased his exceptional talent for rhetoric. Rather than directly admitting to the theft, Hermes cleverly reframed the situation through his witty words and subtle explanations, turning it into something that sounded more like a misunderstanding than a deliberate act, thus deflecting blame. In the end, Hermes made a brilliantly creative proposal. He would return the cattle, but only if Apollo agreed to accept the seven-stringed lyre that Hermes had invented, offering it in exchange. This proposal not only highlighted Hermes' cleverness and intelligence, but also demonstrated his ability to use his talents to create a win-win outcome. Apollo may have been filled with rage at first, but in the face of Hermes' sincerity and creativity, he couldn't deny the appeal of the deal. In the end, Apollo agreed to the arrangement and accepted the seven-stringed lyre. This event not only resolved the conflict between the two brothers, but also earned Hermes greater respect and recognition. Hermes, as the god of commerce and wealth in ancient Greek mythology, is highly revered, especially among merchants, travelers, and shepherds. He is not only the protector of these groups, but also seen as the key force ensuring the smooth conduct of trade and business activities. In ancient Greece, one of the primary forms of trade was the exchange of livestock, and Hermes was the god who protected these transactions. Whether it was the exchange of flocks, herds, or other goods, Hermes' influence was ever present. Merchants and shepherds believed that he ensured the success of their transactions and brought prosperity. Hermes' divine identity is closely tied to commerce and wealth. He not only guarded fair and smooth transactions, but also bestowed wisdom and wit upon merchants, shepherds, and travelers, which were necessary for their dealings. When merchants faced challenges and risks during trade, Hermes' intelligence and alertness became their strongest support. Greek merchants, whether engaged in long-distance trade or local market transactions, would pray to Hermes for divine protection, hoping he would help them avoid fraud, loss, or other business difficulties. Hermes was also believed to be the god who protected merchants from fraud and unjust treatment. In those times, the risks of business transactions were relatively high, and Hermes' divine power offered merchants psychological comfort and security. Whether dealing with strangers or handling complex contracts, merchants hoped that Hermes would help them avoid losses and bring stability and prosperity. As a result, Hermes held a high status among the merchant community. He was not just the messenger who delivered messages, but also the guide of wealth and opportunities. For travelers, Hermes' protective power was equally crucial. On long journeys, travelers often faced unknown dangers and challenges, and Hermes' protection allowed them to reach their destination safely, free from disaster. Whether on business trips or adventures, Hermes was regarded as the guardian god of travelers, ensuring safety and success for every journey. Hermes' role in Greek mythology goes far beyond the traditional symbols of commerce and wisdom. His influence even extends to the boundaries between life and death. As the shadow guide of the god of the underworld, Hades, Hermes holds a crucial responsibility, guiding the souls of the dead across the river Styx and deep into the underworld. This role makes Hermes not only the messenger of the gods, but also a bridge between the living and the dead, a gatekeeper to eternal rest. In this responsibility, Hermes is not merely a guide. He also carries the mission of comforting the souls of the departed. Death, for humans, is always an unknown and frightening concept, and Hermes' presence provides some solace for the souls of the dead. His wings, whether the winged sandals or the winged hat, symbolize his ability to freely navigate between life and death. They allow him to swiftly and unobstructedly lead the souls, helping them overcome the challenges of the underworld and guiding them toward their final rest. Whether they are elderly prophets, great heroes, or ordinary people, when death arrives, they hope for Hermes to lead them safely through this transitional stage, ensuring their souls reach the underworld without difficulty. Hermes' role in this domain makes him one of the most relied-upon deities for humans when facing death. For those about to depart from the world of the living, Hermes is not only a fearless guide, but also a friendly companion, assisting them in crossing the dark and shadowy lands of the underworld, helping them avoid unforeseen dangers. At the moment of death, many would pray to Hermes for a peaceful passing, hoping that he would ensure the smooth journey of their souls. This reliance on Hermes not only reflects people's fear of death, but also highlights his special status within the pantheon of gods. It is worth noting that Hermes' role is not limited solely to being a guide to the underworld. He is also a bridge for reincarnation, bearing the responsibility of helping the souls of the dead either rest in the underworld or be reincarnated. In this process, his role symbolizes transformation and rebirth, which adds complexity and depth to his multiple identities in mythology. As the messenger of the gods, Hermes is undoubtedly one of the most versatile and wide-ranging deities in Greek mythology. His role goes far beyond delivering messages. It extends to handling various matters within and outside of the divine realm. Whether executing Zeus's orders or resolving disputes between gods, Hermes is always able to complete the most challenging tasks with incredible speed and wisdom, becoming the most trusted messenger of the gods. One of Hermes' most famous traits is his speed, which allows him to traverse the mythological world with ease. He wears winged sandals, enabling him to swiftly fly across the sky, covering vast distances and completing the tasks assigned by the gods. Whether traveling from the peak of Mount Olympus to any corner of the earth, Hermes can always reach his destination in no time, delivering Zeus's commands or resolving conflicts between gods. Zeus's orders are often filled with challenges, but with his remarkable efficiency, Hermes is always able to execute them perfectly. In addition, Hermes' wit and eloquence allowed him to demonstrate exceptional skill when handling disputes and conflicts among the gods. Not only could he precisely understand the needs of each deity, but he was also able to reach a consensus between opposing parties in a clever way. For instance, during divine quarrels, Hermes would often step forward, using his wise rhetoric and persuasive language to defuse tense situations and preserve order in the divine realm. His oratorical ability enabled him to resolve complex issues while achieving the best outcomes with minimal cost. Hermes' role was not limited to communication between gods. His responsibilities also extended to the mortal world. As one of the protectors of humanity, he was often entrusted by the gods to guide or assist humans, whether it was protecting merchants from fraud or leading heroes to success. Hermes served as a bridge between the divine and mortal realms, helping maintain order in the divine world while also offering hope and guidance to humans. As the messenger and ambassador of the gods in mythology, Hermes' symbolic objects, his petasis, wing hat, Talaria, wing sandals, and caduceus, staff with two serpents, undoubtedly reinforced his divine status as both a mediator and a communicator. These symbols not only showcased Hermes' unique identity, but also profoundly reflected the multiple roles and powers he held in mythology. Firstly, the petasis and talaria, two of his most iconic items, intuitively represent Hermes' speed and mobility. The petasis is Hermes' signature hat, and with its wing design, it allows him to freely traverse between the divine and mortal realms. This not only symbolizes his unmatched speed and movement, but also represents his ability to respond flexibly to various situations. The talaria, the winged sandals, are another iconic item of Hermes. They allow him to race through the skies like the wind, swiftly completing his missions. These sandals represent Hermes' quick reactions and boundless capabilities, making him the ultimate messenger and mediator. As for Hermes' caduceus, the staff entwined with two serpents, known as the caduceus, it holds even deeper symbolic meaning. The staff, with two intertwined snakes and wings at the top, represents not only Hermes' association with medicine and healing, later becoming a symbol of medicine, but also strongly symbolizes his role in resolving opposition and mediating conflicts. The image of the two serpents entwined signifies the reconciliation and balance of opposing forces, which is precisely what Hermes achieves, bridging the gap between gods and gods, gods and humans, resolving disputes and bringing harmony. This staff has helped Hermes countless times to fulfill his duties as a messenger, mediator, and even an underworld envoy, calming disputes and enabling conflicting parties to reach an agreement. Whether dealing with conflicts between gods or between gods and mortals, Hermes caduceus is always a symbol of his wisdom and authority. Thus, Hermes caduceus has come to embody his intellect, symbolizing his ability to navigate between conflict and reconciliation with ease. It represents not only Hermes as the messenger of the gods, but also reflects the role he plays in culture, a wise mediator and peacemaker, able to swiftly and cleverly resolve conflicts and build communication bridges. This staff, whether used to deliver the gods' commands or to mediate reconciliation in disputes, perfectly encapsulates Hermes' divine mission. Hermes' story is filled with adventure, humor, and cleverness. He is not only the messenger of the gods in mythology, but also an unexpectedly brilliant strategist. Hermes always manages to solve seemingly difficult problems in a lighthearted and ingenious manner, making him one of the most attractive and charismatic characters in mythology. His wit, adaptability, and the humor that often brings laughter set him apart from many other gods. Although Hermes' actions can sometimes seem a bit sly, even deceitful, these traits are precisely what allow him to navigate smoothly between gods and humans. Unlike other deities who exude a majestic, kingly presence, Hermes lacks the air of authority and instead embodies a clever, adaptable problem solver. His intelligence enables him to resolve any challenge with an unexpected, clever solution. For example, in the story where Hermes steals Apollo's cattle, he uses a brilliant plan to hide the herd flawlessly and employs his musical talent to create a misunderstanding, successfully evading pursuit. His actions may seem cunning, but they achieve the greatest effect with the least cost, establishing him from the outset as the figure of clever wisdom. In this act of theft, his sense of humor and creativity shine through, and he even manages to strike a deal with Apollo through music. This easygoing and entertaining resolution makes Hermes an irresistible figure. Furthermore, Hermes' mediating skills make him a key player in resolving conflicts among the gods, whether it's disputes between deities or the difficult tasks assigned to him by Zeus. Hermes always finds a clever way to resolve the issue. Unlike other gods who rely on power to solve problems, Hermes often uses his eloquence, intelligence, and a bit of deception to bring the parties to an agreement and achieve his goal. This ability allows him to smoothly complete any mission in the divine realm, earning the trust and respect of everyone around him. Hermes' story is filled with wit and humor, and his intelligence always allows him to resolve problems and achieve his goals in the most unexpected moments. As a multifaceted deity in mythology, Hermes showcases his adaptability in various challenges in both mischievous and intelligent ways. His actions can sometimes seem a bit sly, but this is one of the secrets to his success. Whether it's theft or playing tricks on other gods, Hermes always uses the cleverest methods to reach his objectives, which makes him one of the most entertaining and charismatic deities. For example, in one famous story, Hermes demonstrates his sense of humor and wit. He took the head of Medusa from Athena's shield and then attached it to Hephaestus' back. This act was not only surprising, but also carried Hermes' signature playful humor. Though the act was filled with mischief, it also proved that Hermes could stand out among the gods as a figure who combines both wisdom and entertainment. Hermes' mischievousness didn't stop there. He often played with the possessions of other gods, and these actions were typically infused with a sense of trickery. For instance, he once stole the girdle of Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and used it in his own schemes. This not only demonstrated his cleverness, but also highlighted his all-encompassing power in the divine realm. Furthermore, he also took the arrows of Artemis, the goddess of hunting. Though these acts were a bit sly, they stood as proof of Hermes' exceptional cunning. Hermes' influence wasn't confined to ancient Greece alone. When Greek culture spread to Rome, Hermes' image also found a corresponding role in Roman mythology, known as Mercury. Although the names and some details differ, Hermes and Mercury share remarkably similar core functions. Both are considered guardians of commerce, wealth, and travel. Mercury's role in Roman mythology is essentially an extension of Hermes. He shares the same duties of facilitating commercial transactions, protecting merchants, travelers, and various trade activities. In addition, Mercury also assumes other roles, such as guiding the souls of the deceased into the underworld, a function similar to Hermes, which made him equally important in the eyes of the Romans. These similarities show that, despite differences in expression and mythological context, Hermes' core symbols, intelligence, agility, and speed, have deeply embedded themselves in the belief systems of both cultures. Overall, Hermes is a deity of immense wisdom, and his various adventures, clever schemes, and assistance to both gods and humans in Greek mythology make him an indispensable figure in legend. His symbols of wit, agility, eloquence, and creativity continue to captivate and inspire admiration for this god. Hermes' stories are not only a valuable heritage of ancient Greek mythology, but have also become a symbol of wisdom and cunning for generations to come. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends. Were you moved by Hermes' wisdom and humor? Or do you know any other interesting stories about Hermes? Leave a comment below and let us know. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more fascinating mythological stories and exciting content. We'll see you next time. Thanks for your support.